February 2026, Estádio da Luz, Lisbon. A historic stage for a moment that will be etched into football's memory forever. The match was stopped, not for a serious injury, not for a controversial VAR decision. It was stopped because of him. For the countless time in his career, Vinícius Júnior is at the epicenter of a storm. A storm that exposes the cracks, the hypocrisies, and the fragile nature of a sport that apparently cannot handle his presence. But why? How did a generational talent, one of the most exciting and effective players on the planet, become such a polarizing figure? Today, we are diving deep into one question. Why can't football handle Vinícius Júnior? Vinícius Júnior's story at Real Madrid is a saga of overcoming adversity. He arrived in, a teenager with an enormous price tag and overwhelming expectations. In his early years, his speed and dribbling ability were undeniable, but his finishing? There was his cross to bear. He became the target of jokes, memes, and even subtle criticism within the dressing room. This phrase, captured by the cameras, revealed the internal pressure Vini was facing. Many would have succumbed, but Vinícius, with remarkable resilience, turned adversity into motivation. His evolution under the command of Carlo Ancelotti was remarkable. From a promising yet inconsistent winger, he became a complete attacker, with decision-making and finishing ability that elevated him to the level of the best players in the world. The 2021-2022 season was the turning point, with 22 goals and 16 assists, including the winning goal in the Champions League final against Liverpool. Vini silenced his critics. His statistics in the 2025 and 2026 season continue to demonstrate his consistency and impact, with 8 goals and 5 assists in La Liga and an average of 4.2 successful dribbles per game. He is not just fast, he is intelligent, unpredictable, and above all, lethal. He forces defenders out of their comfort zones, makes them commit mistakes, and it is that frustration that often spills beyond the pitch. Football, especially in Europe, is a sport with deeply rooted traditions. There is an expectation, often unspoken, about how a player should behave. Humility in victory, stoicism in defeat. And Vinícius Júnior, with his natural joy, his dances, and his expressive style of play, collides head-on with this culture. The narrative that Vini provokes opposing fans is recurring. His celebrations, his daring dribbles, his confidence on the pitch are often interpreted as disrespect. But is that really the case, or does European football at times struggle to accept the exuberance and ginga of South America football, especially when it comes from a black player? The incident in the match against Benfica, where José Mourinho, a figure of authority in football, was criticized for his reaction to alleged abuse, is a clear example. The discussion quickly shifted towards Vini behavior instead of focusing on the conduct of the fans. This is a pattern. Other players, after European, celebrate passionately, argue with referees and opponents, and are seen as having strong personalities, but when Vini does it, it becomes provocation. This paradox reveals a cultural hypocrisy. Football loves passion, but only within certain limits. Vinícius' authentic joy, his way of expressing his identity on the pitch, is seen as a threat to the established order. He does not fit the mold of the ideal player, and because of that, the system tries to shape him, or, in the worst case scenario, silence him. The most painful and at the same time the most powerful dimension of Vinícius Júnior's stories is his fight against racism. He is not the first player to suffer racist abuse, but his persistence and visibility have turned him into a global symbol of resistance. Since arriving in Spain, Vini has been the target of racist insults in multiple stadiums, a reality described as suffering a lot and still suffering. And this wasn't a one-time incident. Here are just a few examples. Match against Valencia at Mestalla. Vini identifies a fan who racially insults him, and the game is stopped. His emotional reaction and the refusal to accept the situation spark a global debate about racism in Spain football. An effigy of Vinícius Júnior is hung from a bridge in Madrid before a derby, a shocking act of hatred that led to investigations and arrests. During a press conference before a Brazil national team match, Vini breaks down in tears while speaking about racism, saying he has less and less desire to play. This human and vulnerable moment resonated worldwide. And the most recent incident during the match against Benfica, which resulted in the interruption of the game. The response from football institution has been, at the best, slow, and at worst, inadequate. Vague statements, symbolic fines, and a lack of concrete action have been the norm. However, Vini's persistence is forcing change. Match interruptions, media pressure, and support from major figures in the sport are pushing La Liga, UEFA, and FIFA to rethink their approaches. Vinícius Júnior is uncontrollable because he refuses to be silenced. He does not accept the role of a passive victim. He uses his platform, his voice, and his visibility to demand justice and respect. He is changing the rules of the game, not only on the pitch but off it as well. His fight is a painful reminder that football, as a reflection of society, still has a long way to go in eradicating prejudice. The Vinícius Júnior phenomenon transcends sport. He has become a cultural icon, a role model for millions of young people around the world. His story of resilience, his fight against racism, and his ability to shine under pressure make him an inspiring figure. Commercially and socially, the Vini Jr. effect is undeniable. Global brands seek to associate themselves with his image of authenticity and resilience. His voice carries significant weight in important social debates. He is not just a football player, he is an activist, an ambassador of a new generation of athletes who refuse to be just athletes. Football cannot handle Vinícius Júnior because he represents an unstoppable force for change. He challenges power structures, cultural norms, and deeply rooted prejudices. He forces the sport to look at itself in the mirror and confronts its own flaws. And that, for a system that prefers complacency, is deeply uncomfortable. In the end, the question is not whether Vinícius Júnior will change. The question is whether football is ready to change for him. He is the future of the sport, a future that is vibrant, talented, but also conscious and demanding. Whether they criticize him or try to silence him, Vinícius Júnior will continue to dance, to dribble and to score. And in doing so, he will continue to expose the truth. The problem is not him. The problem is a football world that still cannot handle its own evolution. What do you think about Vinícius Júnior's journey? In his fight against racism and his way of playing, a problem or an inspiration? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth analysis on the world of football and leave a like if this video made you think. Bye!